I'm also going to be climbing one of the most aesthetic and statuesque mountains in the Sierra Nevada. Something strange happened. Dizziness persists, but I think I know why. All the valleys to the west are full of smoke. Holy flip. Oh my God. Oh, you gotta see this. Greetings, my excellent friends. It's Joshua Cripps here, off on another adventure. Today, I'm gonna be hiking and camping somewhere that I've walked past 1,000 times, but I've never actually stayed at. If the weather holds, I'm also going to be climbing one of the most aesthetic and statuesque mountains in the Sierra Nevada. First, let me get out of these motorcycle clothes and into my hiking clothes. All right, there we go. All dressed up and somewhere to go. One thing I do love about overnight trips, how light it makes your pack. Oh man, I feel like a little leprechaun here, skipping around looking for a pot of gold. Looking for a lake to camp at, because it's already getting on, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and if I want to get to camp and climb a mountain before the sun sets and plunges us all into eerie darkness, I better get moving. It'd be a warm one today, that's for sure. Not scorching, not inferno, not even swashy, but definitely warm. That's all right. This trail is only like 2 miles up with no shade, so should be fine. If you had to ask me what is the herb of the year up here in the High Sierra, it's this, wild coyote mint. It's been blooming nonstop all along all the trails and watersheds. I've never seen as prolific a bloom as this year. And the best thing about it, it smells so good. The buds, the leaves, everything smells a little bit different. So minty. Tastes like a plant. I'm officially upgrading the weather from warm, not swassy, thanks to my merino wool undies and beautiful shalwar, but definitely swacy, as in sweat is running down my face, you see. Thankfully, there's a waterfall right up at the end of this switchback, or back, as we call it in the industry. So right up at the end of this back, there's a waterfall. Just kidding, nobody says that. And I'm gonna stick my head right in it. Something that never ceases to amaze me is the amount of work that has gone into creating and maintaining the trails here in the Sierra. Here you have a massive rockfall, landslide, right? Covering this area with thousands of tons of boulders. And yet, somebody at some point came through here with pick, shovel, pry bar, and hand and schlepped all these out of the way to make a trail for the rest of us to walk through. It's amazing, and I'm incredibly grateful for the people who've put in that hard work. Thank you. Some of you keen-eyed Sierra sleuths will recognize this as the Kearsarge Pass Trail, quite possibly my favorite trail in all of the Sierra. It's basically the easiest way to get up and over the Sierra Crest and into the truly wild backcountry of my favorite place on earth, Kings Canyon National Park. But today, I'm not going over the pass. No, I'm going to a lake that sits in its own little basin just off the main trail. Now, I'm not going to tell you which lake because I'm a huge proponent of just getting out there and exploring. Also, I just kind of want to keep the traffic down, if at all possible. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that by far my favorite weather to be in the mountains is thunderstorms because of the dramatic quality of light, the insane, beautiful formations of clouds, crepuscular rays, dynamic lighting that you get that makes it just heavenly as a landscape photographer. However, since my secondary goal is also to climb to the top of a nearly 14,000 foot mountain today, I don't want it to be too stormy. I'm really trying to thread a needle between having gorgeous light for photography and having good conditions to summit a mountain. As I'm heading up towards camp, there are some reminders about how to be a good camper in the wilderness, and here's one of them. Although I'm not exactly sure what no fures aloed means, so I'll have to check my permit for that one. And this fine and serene spot, what we're gonna call home for the night. So everything I don't need is going in the tent here, sleeping bag, pad, pillow, etc. I'm gonna take a bare minimum of food. Everything else is gonna go here in the bear canister. Keep my weight down. Gonna bring an extra lens for the camera, some extra layers, but that's it. Really try to keep the pack light because from here, the trail stops getting easy and starts getting vertical, and I wanna be light as possible so I feel like a little sproing bouncing around on my two sproings, which means that this is everything I am taking with me. Jacket, water bottle, beanie, gloves, snacks, camera equipment, more camera equipment, a water filter, and a backpack. Let's go! We have left the trails behind, that's for sure. Just slow, steady grunt work now. I hope for about 1,000 feet of ascent, between 45 minutes and an hour, depending on how good I'm feeling. Right now I'm feeling pretty good, so we're cruising it, which is good, because there's 3,000 total feet of climb from the camp to the top. I'm just on this little bench here, and there's a lake right over here. I'll give you one guess what it's called. Yes, bench, lake, good job. But I need to get water. This is the perfect spot to do it. You know why? Because lakes are full of water. The more you know. I've been here once before when I climbed this mountain in a day trip. I did not remember it being this gorgeous. Oh my God. The sun on my skin. Whenever I know I'm going a couple of hours without water, I try to fill up as much as I can. So I've got this bottle, my filter sack, which is about 1 liter, but also have my tummy. So I'm gonna chug all this and then fill everything up. So that'll give me about 2 liters and 300 milliliters to carry me up and down. I've reached a small ridge here, which means that the real ascent is about to begin. So from here, it's about 2,000 feet up, directly up this, right through the middle. There's the summit up there. And the linear distance, I believe, is about half a mile. So half a mile forward, 2,000 feet up. It's warm without being hot. There's a small breeze without it being sketchy windy. And the clouds have all but vanished into just mere puffballs in the sky. This is gonna be absolutely wonderful. Time to see what these quads are made out of. They're made out of steel, let's go. Time to borrow today. Well, something's gotta give. One thing I find helps tremendously when you're tackling an ascent like this is to break it up into mentally digestible chunks so you feel like you can actually accomplish it. So for example, instead of thinking, oh, I've got to climb 2,000 feet, think of it more like I've got to climb 200 feet 10 times. Or like I do, I've got to climb 1 foot 2,000 times. Today, well, something's gotta give today. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was having doubts a little while back. I looked up at the top and it was pretty freaking far away still. And that uncertainty kind of started to sink in. Do I really want to do this? It's going to take a long ass time to get up there, coming down in the dark. Maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe I should turn around, just head back. All those doubts swirl all the time when you're out in the mountains. What made me continue on? I decided to keep going. And I'll tell you what it is. It's my little cat, Pork Chop. He's only got 2 legs, 1 eye, no ears. Also, he has wiener cancer. But the look on his face if I came home and told him, Pork Chop, I didn't make it. I'm not sure I could take that. So I'm gonna press on. Let's go for Pork Chop. Also, I don't know, you just keep walking and the top gets closer and then you see the light at the end of the tunnel and it seems much more accomplishable. Anyway, let's schlock. Something strange happened. The altitude is hitting me. I normally don't have a problem at all with altitude, but I find myself getting a little bit lightheaded, which is somewhat disconcerting, when you're scrambling and have to go back down this stuff. So I'm gonna take it nice and slow from here on out. I'm only 400 feet from the top, so that should only take about 20-25 minutes. So I'm just gonna take my time, make sure I don't get any dizzier, play by play. In the meantime, I'm enjoying just unreal views. Sundog, actual sun, actual dog over there. Well, it's a chipmunk, but we can pretend it's a dog. It's the home stretch now. Just have this last little head wall to climb. That's the summit right there. It's only about maybe 150 more vertical feet. Getting so close. Hallelujah. I've made it to the summit ridge. Just a few more minutes to the actual top. Wow, 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 wow. Holy flip. Oh my God. Oh, you gotta see this. That's the summit right there. I'm gonna hustle over there because sunset is nigh and I don't want to be up here in the dark. There it goes, sunset from the top, 13,500 feet. Good news is that was utterly spectacular and my lightheadedness, my dizziness is all gone. The bad news is I now have to descend all of that in the dark. Whoops. Oh well, there ain't nothing for it except to pack up, sack up, and crack up. Since I cannot see in the dark as well as the camera, it's headlamp time. Long dark slog ahead of us. This is the way out. I just gotta unstrap my bag so I can actually fit through here. I'm freaking glad that's done. But that was the worst of it. I'm back on easy stuff now, just a few hundred feet till I get back to the lakes. And from there, it's an easy cruise back to camp. Look at this. Oh, it's a tent. It's my tent. Oh my goodness gracious, is that a sight for sore eyes? Lots to recap, but first, food, then sleep. Reset the brain, reset the body. I'll catch up with you. Nothing like a little midnight chili to set you right just before bed. Oh, just say I'm glad I'm not sharing a tent tonight. Well, team, I'm cooked. It is bedtime. I am ready to sack out. Here, what an incredible day. So hard.
but so rewarding and so beautiful. So good night, see you in the morning.
Very good morning to everybody out there. It's a stunning, beautiful day here, tranquil and calm, serene with unbelievable reflections of the mountains. So yesterday, oh boy, that was a mission. It was hard. Physically, it was challenging. It wasn't the hardest thing I've done in the Sierra, but mentally, it was quite challenging. The coming down in the dark bit, that was a new one for me, but it tested my limits, and I'm happy to say that I found them up to the challenge. And every time you do that, you push your capabilities, you push your character just a little bit more. All the same, I'm glad that I was solo on that one, because I'm not sure anybody I talked into doing that hike with me would have still been friends with me at the end of 3 hours of descending bullshit talus in the dark. But we made it down safe and sound, slept, woke up in a stunning place. Almost feels like yesterday was a dream, in fact. And it was. Can't wait to go back and go look through all the images. Today, the plan is basically just to pack up and beat feet out of here. I hope that you enjoyed this story and this adventure, that you enjoyed following along. I've got lots more crazy stuff coming up, so be sure to like, comment, subscribe, get notifications, all that YouTube crap for the algorithm really does help us find people, connect with people, and keep bringing out better and more interesting videos. So until next time, have fun and happy shooting.
What is it like to shoot fall color when you only let yourself use one lens? A big ass telephoto.
Oh, this is hard. How did I even get that shot? I don't know what I was doing.